Hi friends, in this session we discuss on functions of complex numbers. They are defined in a similar way to functions of real numbers that have been discussed in calculus. The only difference is that they operate on complex number rather than on real numbers. First we have a definition. Let S be a set of complex number. A function f defined on S is a rule that assigns to each set in S a complex number w. The number w is called the value of f at z and is denoted by f set. We denote it as f set. That is, w is equal to f set. A function is also called mapping or transformation. The set S is called the domain of definition of the function f. The totality of all values f set corresponding to all points in S constitute another set of complex numbers known as the range of the function f. That is, the range of f is the collection of w such that collection of w is equal to f of z such that z belongs to S. That is, w is equal to f of z such that this z belongs to S. We have an example. Let S is equal to C, the entire complex plane, and define f by f of z is equal to z square. F of z is equal to z square. Then the domain is C and the range is the set w is equal to z square such that z belongs to C. If for the same function, if we take the domain as S is equal to z in C such that mod z less than 1, the open unit disk, then the range is w is equal to z square such that z belongs to C mod z less than 1. While saying the domain of a function, we mean only the set of points on which the function is defined. When the domain of definition of a function is not mentioned, we agree that the largest possible set is to be taken. For example, the functions f1 and f2 defined by I am going to define f1 of z is equal to z cube plus 2iz minus 3 and f2z is equal to mod z is equal to mod z are functions of complex variables where f1 and f2 have the entire complex plane as the domain, while f3 is given by, now I am taking another one, f3 of z. f3 of z is equal to 1 by z square plus 1, which I can write as 1 by z plus I into z minus I, is undefined at the 2 points z is equal to I and z is equal to minus I in the complex plane, and hence the domain of f3 is the entire complex plane except the 2 point z is equal to I and z is equal to minus I. Similarly, for the function f4 of z is equal to 1 by z, another one we have f4 of z is equal to 1 by z. The domain of definition is taken to be the set of non-zero complex numbers. Note that f2 defined above is a real valued function of a complex variable set since it carries a complex number to modulus of the same number which is a real number. Clearly, f1 z is equal to z cube plus 2iz minus 3 is a complex valued function of a complex variable set. f3 is a complex valued function of a complex variable set, since in particular we have f3 1 plus I is equal to 1 by 1 plus I whole square plus 1, which we can write as 1 by 1 plus I into 1 plus I minus I. That is that is f3 of 1 plus I. I can write f3 of 1 plus I is equal to 1 by 1 plus I square plus 1. This is square plus 1, which I can write as 1 by 1 plus I plus I into 1 plus I minus I, which we can get as 1 by 1 plus 2y, which is equal to 1 minus 2y by 1 square plus 2 square, that is by using the multiplying with by complex conjugate. We can write it as 1 by 5 minus I into 2 by 5. This is where 1 by 5 minus I into 2 by 5. This is a complex number. That is f4z is equal to 1 by z is also a complex valued function of a complex variable set. Since in particular f4i, which we can take it as 1 by I. Instead of z, we are taking here z is equal to I, which is equal to minus 1 by I into minus I, which is equal to, which we can write as 1 by I into minus I, which is equal to minus I. This is a complex number. The real and imaginary part of w is equal to f of z. Suppose that w is equal to u plus iv is the value of the function f at z is equal to x plus iy. So that u plus iy is equal to f of z, which is equal to f of x plus iy. U plus iv, which is equal to f of z, which we can write as x plus iy. Each of the real numbers u and v depends on the real variables x and y, and it follows that fz can be expressed in terms of a pair of real valued functions of the real variables x and y. Fz is equal to u xy plus I v xy. Fz is equal to, we can write fz is equal to u of xy plus I v of xy. This mark it as equation number 1. If on the other hand u xy and v of xy are two given real valued functions of the real variables x and y, the equation fz is equal to u xy plus I v of xy can be used to define a function of the complex variable z is equal to x plus iy. Next example, if fz is equal to z square, fz is equal to z square, then we have fz is equal to f of x plus, we have fz is equal to f of x plus iy, which is equal to x plus iy whole square. We have here, we have fz is equal to z square, which we can write as x plus iy whole square, which is equal to x square minus y square plus I into 2xy. Hence, here u xy is equal to x square minus y square. U xy equal to x square minus y square and v xy is equal to 2xy. So, now use of polar coordinates. If the polar coordinates r and theta instead of x and y are used, then u plus iv is equal to f of r e raised to I theta. We can take u plus iv is equal to f of r e raised to I theta, where w is equal to u plus iv and z is equal to r e raised to I theta. In that case, we may write f of z is equal to, we can write f of z is equal to what, u r theta plus iv r theta. Mark it as equation number 2. Next we have an example. If fz is equal to z square, then taking z is equal to r e raised to I theta, we can take f z is equal to, I am considering f z is equal to z square. Again I have f z is equal to z square. So, I can write f z is equal to f r e raised to I theta, that is r e raised to I theta whole square, that is r square into e raised to I 2 theta. Since we have e raised to I theta whole raised to n, we have a result e raised to I theta whole raised to n is equal to e raised to I n theta by theorem of De Moivre's, which we can write as, which is equal to r square cos 2 theta plus I sin 2 theta. Consequently, u r theta, here u r theta is equal to r square cos 2 theta, and v r theta is equal to r square sin 2 theta. V r theta is equal to r square sin 2 theta. Next we have real valued function of a complex variable. If in either f z is equal to u x y plus I v x y or f z is equal to u r theta plus I v r theta, the function v is always 0, then the number f z is always real. Next example, the function f defined by f z is equal to mod z whole square is a real valued function of a complex variable, and it can be written as f z is equal to mod z square this is equal to mod x plus I y whole square, which is equal to square root of x square plus y square whole square. Mod z we have x square plus y square. On expanding, we get it as x square plus y square plus I theta. In polar coordinate, it is f r e raised to I theta. Polar coordinate, we can f r e raised to I theta. This we can write as mod r e raised to I theta square. Said we can replace it as r e raised to I theta. So, it is mod r e raised to I theta whole square, which is equal to mod r square into mod e raised to I theta whole square, which is equal to what? Mod r square. Next we have polynomial function. If n is 0 or a positive integer, and if a0, a1 etc. an are complex constant where a0 equal to 0, the function pz is equal to a0 plus a1 z plus a2 z square etc. plus an z raised to n is a polynomial of degree n, that we all know p of z. We can write p of z is equal to a0 plus a1 z plus a2 z square plus etc. plus an z raised to n. This is a polynomial of degree n. The domain of the above polynomial function is the entire complex plane. Okay. Next we have rational functions. If pz and qz are polynomial functions, then the quotient pz by qz of polynomials is called a rational function. That is pz by qz. This is what we call as a rational function. These functions are denoted at each point z where qz not equal to 0. Next we have single valued and many valued function. Usually a function is single valued on a set S in the sense that it has just one value corresponding to each z in S. A generalization of the concept of function is a rule that assigns more than one value to a point in the domain of definition. these many valued functions, or we can say multiple valued function, occur in the theory of functions of a complex variable, just as they do in the case of real variables. For example, in the theory of real variables, we have that if we assign square root of a positive real number a, then it gives two values, root a and minus root a. For instance, 4 has two square roots, 2 and minus 2. When multiple valued functions are studied, usually just one of the possible values assigned to each point is taken in a systematic manner, and that is single valued function is constructed from the multiple valued function. For example, in the theory of real variable, square root of a positive real number can be single valued in any one of the following manner. First one is associate with a positive real number its positive square root. Next one, associate with a positive real number its negative square root. The same idea works in case of functions of complex variables. Next example, we note that obviously the function of complex variable w is equal to z square is a single valued function of z. That is, w is equal to z square. It's a single valued function of z. Next one, we now show that the function of complex variable w is equal to z raised to minus 2. Next one is w is equal to z raised to 1 by 2 or square root of z is not a function of z, that is not a single valued function of z. For non-zero complex number, we take z is equal to r e raised to I theta, where r greater than 0 and theta minus pi less than theta less than or equal to pi as the principal value of argument of z. Then z is equal to, then we have z is equal to r cos theta plus I sin theta. And the second root, that is the square root, are given by square root are given by z is equal to r raised to 1 by 2, r raised to 1 by 2, which is equal to r raised to 1 by 2 cos theta plus 2k pi by 2 plus I sin theta plus 2k pi by 2, I sin theta plus 2k pi by 2. Of course, this k varies from 0, 1. This k varies from 0, 1, etc. So, when k is equal to 0, when k is equal to 0, we have set of 0, set 0. We can write set 0 is equal to what? R raised to 1 by 2. Here we have in the brackets, we have cos theta by 2 plus I sin theta by 2, which we can write as, which is equal to square root of r into e raised to I theta by 2. Then what about k is equal to 1? We have z1 is equal to r raised to 1 by 2 cos theta by 2, which is equal to r raised to 1 by 2 cos theta by 2 plus pi plus I sin theta by 2 plus pi, which we can write as, which is equal to r raised to 1 by 2 cos theta by 2 plus pi, we can write as minus cos theta by 2 minus I sin theta by 2, which we can write as, which is equal to square root of minus square root of r e raised to I theta by 2. Hence, z raised to 1 by 2 has the two values, that is z raised to 1 by 2 is equal to plus or minus square root of r e raised to I theta by 2. that is z is equal to, we have 2 VLS, z raised to 1 by 2 is equal to plus or minus square root of r e raised to I theta by 2. But we make z raised to 1 by 2 a single valued function as follows. We choose only the positive value of plus or minus root r and write fz is equal to we can write fz is equal to root r e raised to I theta by 2 where r greater than 0, minus pi less than pi, minus pi less than theta less than or equal to pi, like that. This single valued function f is well defined on the set of non-zero numbers in the complex plane. Since 0 is the only square root of 0, we also write f0 is equal to 0. We can write f0 is equal to 0. The function f is then well defined on the entire complex plane. So, here we have discussed all about the functions of a complex variable. In the next session, we go through the limits of functions of complex variable. Till then, take care.